Behind the Bite with Baldy. Guys, I want to tell you something very exciting. So this is episode number 1. Hopefully we're going to do a ton of episodes. And really, yes, this is me talking to you, talking to the viewers. Behind the Bite, obviously, I'm a foodie. I'm a local food reviewer. I travel now everywhere. We go to Palm Beach County, but we started in the Treasure Coast. So we really wanted to do something for the community, something fun, something vibrant. We're going to have a lot of guests on and stuff like that. So I just wanted to kind of start this off almost with like a fun monologue and a couple of stories that have recently happened. One of the questions that I get asked all the time, even though this is a monologue, I'll still look at you from time to time. Yep. Hi, Shara.
Hello.
Shara is a community advocate, really about positivity, about uplifting the community and stuff like that. But people often ask me, what does it take to be a food reviewer? Or the way they ask me, what makes you some sort of an expert on food? And I say this, honestly, I don't know, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a crazy question that people ask. And I'm just thinking, why do you have to be an expert to enjoy food? Like, you know,
Right.
You're not saying that you're a chef / food reviewer. You're literally a food reviewer. Anybody can eat food, you know? And so I think it's the Gordon Ramsays, you know, that kind of were very like particular with their palate, and you have to, you know, have these perfect flavors, but you're more like representing the rest of us. Because I think that most of the people that Gordon Ramsay probably put down for the food that they were eating, like the rest of us would be like, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So you don't have to be an expert at eating food. That's crazy.
Thank you. And that's what I was going to say is that I've been a foodie my whole life, you know, way before I ever picked up the camera. I really would always eat at all the great restaurants and all the cool spots. So am I a food expert, or am I just a big guy that loves food?
Right.
You know, I have a lot of comments of people that say, Baldy, you don't know food. You don't know nothing. You look like you're just a big guy that loves to eat all food.
And what's your answer to that? What do you think?
They said, you're just a big dude that loves food. And I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? You are correct. Right? You are absolutely correct.
Facts.
I'm a big dude that loves food.
Yeah.
So just briefly, and again, I'm not going to do this whole about me and all about me, even though it's my podcast, right?
No. Not everybody knows. Tell the people about you.
Right. Okay. I'm saying I'm not going to do this every time.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not going to beat it down.
Yeah.
So I am originally from Brooklyn in the house. And I moved to South Florida when I was about 5 years old. And coming from Broward and being brought up in Broward, obviously I grew up, not obviously, I'm telling you, I was a foodie. Listen, I'm a big dude and I always ate good. And then obviously once I got into the corporate world and everything, I was eating at all cool restaurants and everything. And then slowly I migrated to the Palm Beaches, and they have a great food society as well in Palm Beach.
Yeah, they do.
We would literally go and spend hundreds of dollars on all these cool places. So in the back of my head, I always knew that I wanted to do something fun, something cool when it comes to putting out foodie content. And then obviously you got the Dave Portnoy's.
Yeah.
You have all of these foodies that started doing this stuff. So then about 6 years ago, I moved to the Treasure Coast. And obviously, if you don't know what the Treasure Coast is, it goes pretty much from Sebastian and Vero all the way down to Stewart and Jensen.
In Florida, for those anybody
still
watching
in
that's
Florida.
not in Florida. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what's funny? I'm going to start out because this podcast is also going to be a fun hub for all my, for all the hate watchers, as well as the happy watchers and all that. But I'm going to go back to the hate. So what's funny is my first introduction to the community, before I ever picked up a camera or anything, was the food scene. And I was on Facebook, I was on Instagram, and I was like, Okay, where's the good food? Where's the good food? Why are these New Yorkers poo-pooing on Port St. Lucie food? Why are they saying, oh, if you want good food, you got to go back to New York or Boston or the Northeast or down to Broward, where I'm from, or to, obviously, to the Palm Beaches. And I said, you know what? I don't know what it was. It was almost like the perfect storm. I said, okay, so let me get this straight. Most of us who live in the Treasure Coast are from other places for the most part. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I'm originally from New York. Then I was raised in Broward my entire life. Then we migrated to Palm Beach. And I said, okay, if that's my story, how come it's not everyone's story? So you're telling me Mr. and Mrs. Foodie experts on Facebook, oh, there's no good food in Port St. Lucie. Now, granted, this was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
This was right after COVID.
Yeah.
When I moved to Tradition. And then, so even the landscape of the food industry has changed drastically. Dramatically. Yeah. So now I've been doing this for about 3 years. And, long story short, we'll get to it. But, I blew up into the #1 content creator on the foodie side by far in the Treasure Coast.
Yeah.
And so about 3 years ago, that's when I started doing it. But I was really brewing and thinking about, how am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? And I said, you know what? There's never a good time but the present. So we picked up the camera. We started going to a couple of the restaurants, and I wanted to prove, my biggest thing is I wanted to prove that if you live anywhere, you can have good food. You can have culinary masterpieces.
And you know what I think you did different as well? Food trucks.
You
because,
yeah,
a lot of these food reviewers, the big guys, Portnoy, I don't follow him like that, but I don't think he actually does food trucks. He does pizza establishments like...
You're absolutely right.
Right?
Yes.
I've never seen him do a food truck. Yeah. Keith Lee, no disrespect.
Not a lot. He's done some food trucks.
Has he done a couple of them? But, you literally made it... it might even have been in the beginning for you. Because, okay, I'm Jamaican, right? So food trucks have always been kind of like where I come from and like how we seen them. We looked at food trucks like... You don't want to eat at a food truck unless you have to eat at a food truck.
You're right.
And I think you changed my perception of food trucks because you started reviewing something that most people see as kind of like if you're low on money or you're short on time, you started showing that food trucks were actual like committed, chefs and food experts. Like these people are actually just waiting to open, their brick and mortar. It's just a matter of finances. It didn't mean that they weren't,
Well, thank you.
Legitimate,
So and you're absolutely right.
You really exposed that.
I love that, and I forgot that tidbit. But yeah, going back, and then I'll touch on that. Yes, we definitely started going after food trucks because, yes, just to touch on that really quick, I've always been a believer that food trucks are the next generation of culinary experts that are just waiting and scratching and clawing at their opportunity to open up a restaurant. So yes, you're absolutely right. And I happen to be of the belief that there are some food trucks that will make you a plate of food that belong in a Michelin star
100%.
restaurant.
They just don't have the finances to bring it
but
to
they're
reality.
Getting there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially with this exposure now, like a food truck, you might even do better with a food truck in the Treasure Coast. Like the Treasure Coast, like you could do food anyway. You
really
could do it with it doesn't even matter anymore. Like a brick and mortar is just luxury, So
you're
that's how I
absolutely
feel.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And now listen, don't get me wrong, and I don't want to go off on a tangent. But food trucks, yes, I've seen a couple of food trucks that I wouldn't eat the food ever again. But then I've seen some food trucks that are cleaner than some of the nicest restaurants. I mean, I've been on some food truck tours.
Yeah.
Not just the Treasure Coast, but beyond, where they take such pride in the cleanliness and everything. But let me go back to what I was saying. So I just want to close out this opening. I have a couple more things really quick. It's funny, the show sheet's in my mind. Good job on the show sheet, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
But so I said, essentially, I put my cape on my back. I said, let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. So back to that question. What makes me an expert on foodie and, you know, bringing stuff to the forefront of the community? Guess what? I'm no expert. I am just a regular dude who loves food. Oh, there. Maybe we should change the name. I'm a regular dude who loves food and really wants to bring the perspective of trying, whether it's 5-star dining, food truck establishments, or anything in the middle. I really wanted to bring that to the community and to prove, one review at a time, that not only the Treasure Coast has amazing food and amazing restaurants, but everywhere all around it and in between. And I think that I've done that.
I think so.
Thank you. Now, you're always going to have hate. You're always going to have pushback.
You want to talk about that?
Well, speaking of hate.
Yeah.
Speaking of hate.
It's crazy how... Go ahead. Tell us about it.
No, I want to tell a funny story.
Say it. Let's hear it.
I want to bring news and community and fun stuff. But also, I do want to touch on some stuff that I think we can improve in our community. Now, listen, this podcast is going to hopefully grow nationwide into other areas, definitely Florida and all the other areas. Mm-hmm. But I have no problem to say that we shoot in the Treasure Coast.
Yeah.
Baldy Eats was founded in the Treasure Coast, and we're going to continue to really focus and put the Treasure Coast on a pedestal.
Yeah.
But are you familiar with Mr. Luca Corleone?
Yes.
No, this is a crazy story. So Mr. Luca Corleone, who has owned a restaurant in Port St. Lucie for many, many years. Mm-hmm. They ended up, I believe they would have just closed down that site because they got a bit bigger and better location in Tradition.
Yeah.
When I tell you that Luca, first of all, he's a social media star in his own right. He has hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah, he's very creative. I've seen a couple of his videos.
He's an amazing chef. He's a great guy. I actually did a review for him, and we did a collab video that actually went viral, even though I hate to say the V word.
Yeah.
And you hate it when I say the V word. But this one did hit hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah. It did good. It's good.
So you're not going to believe this, but... And you don't know about this either, but this is also for the audience.
Okay.
Luca just had a soft opening in Tradition for his restaurant. And when I tell you that they put, I don't want to pocket watch on that man. I don't want to say how much he put in that thing, but it looks gorgeous.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like I'm saying, it looks like allegedly he put like $1 million into that place.
Have you been physically there, or are you just seeing pictures?
I've seen so many pictures and everything.
Okay.
By the way, y'all go try it. Corleone's just open. But anyway, do you know that he had a soft opening this weekend? Very soft.
Okay.
I believe it is in Tradition, and just for the community and other people and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And there was a post that came out. I heard about this from one of my followers.
Okay.
That were dragging them.
Dragging
them. Now, not necessarily on bad food, but just on ridiculousness.
Oh, God.
Ridiculousness. One said, they made me a Cosmopolitan and put ice in it, or I saw that. You know, Cosmopolitan is an alcoholic drink, and they put ice in it. I guess I don't know if you're supposed to have ice in it or not.
Right.
And I'm like, ladies and gentlemen,
anyone's getting dragged in the Treasure Coast. It's like, it's crazy.
You
can do no good. Like,
kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? This man has put his heart, his soul into a restaurant. He did a soft opening. Granted, this restaurant has not been open for months.
And it's not a drinking bar. It is, and it's Italian. Like, judge him on the
well, that's
Italian
just one
food.
Thing. Right.
But I'm even, like, bringing that up's crazy.
People were complaining about so many things about the soft opening.
You can't win.
Then I heard from Luca himself, because I actually watched a video of his.
Okay.
This is not allegedly. This is from
What'd he say?
the owner.
Right.
He gave a long dissertation on a little bit about the soft opening, how obviously they're going to fix things up. And one of the things that happened is he said people were actually coming in and they were bossing his employees around or saying, "Do you know who I am?"
What?
Listen, if you walk into a restaurant, I don't care who you are.
Right.
And you start off with, "Do you know who I am?"
The arrogance. Yeah.
And he said, this gentleman, I don't know his name. I don't think Luca knows his name. I think people have heard of him.
Okay.
He put his hand on one of the managers. Something like, I'm not going to say exactly because I don't know what happened. Maybe it was
like
about
fighting?
Not fighting, but literally try to
like
direct
manhandle?
them.
Like
a little bit of a manhandle.
Oh, dang.
And listen, you can go and watch that post, but I just want to touch on that. I'm not going to go. That's it on this subject because I don't want to go too long on it. But
that's what we have to deal with in the Treasure Coast. Is to create, like, it's such a great hub for food.
Yes.
It's crazy how many hidden food gems there are here.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the mentality of the people here. Like, they're bored. I mean, it is Florida. You know, we got a lot of the snow. They got nothing to do. They're retired. It's like it's their job almost to criticize.
I love that.
It's their
it's the job.
You know?
To complain. It's like the people
they're the auditors.
The HOA and all that.
Yes, yeah, right.
But I want to just say on that, that's why we can't have nothing good sometimes. This guy, he could have opened his restaurant anywhere. He could have gone down to Palm Beach. Yeah. You guys always say and open it up and, go to Palm Beach, you got food. He could have went to New York. He could have went to anywhere.
He's national. Like, no, he's international.
He's international
known, right?
as far as what he does.
Right. Like the whole, like a lot of people in the food scene.
He's a famous chef at this point. Yeah.
Right.
But he does a soft opening.
Oh, God.
Very soft. He doesn't have to do that. He didn't have to. Now, listen, I understand he built his bones in the community. It's an amazing opportunity for him as well. He already knows the community.
Yeah.
But how about on the consumer side?
Right.
Be a little bit...
Be positive and appreciative.
A little bit positive.
And have a little grace. I mean, look, it's the perfectionism, I think, that keeps a lot of really great, artists from, just acting on their art because you can't make even the slightest mistake, and everyone's like missing the whole point of food being subjective.
Amen. They're missing
that's like all the way over everybody's head. Like, I don't get it.
Right. So if food in a lot of ways is a love language for a lot of people, right? Mm-hmm. If food is something that you're enjoying with your friends, with your family, at some of the most momentous occasions that you're going to have in your entire life, why not be a little bit more positive? But again, it goes down to a lot of times, you're either, I hate to say it, you're either a curmudgeon and you see the negative in everything, or you're a positive person. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. Do I eat out every single time? We eat out, as a family a lot. Mm-hmm. Are there times where the food is not perfect? Of course. Are there times where we're like, ooh, we paid this for that? Ooh.
Right. I mean, the truth is the truth. Like, some things aren't hitting, yeah.
Right. But it's still about enjoying. Now, I understand the economy is rough. The economy is tough right now.
Yeah.
So when you go out and you spend a couple $100s on a meal, I mean, you do want it to be good. So I understand. I understand. I do see both sides. But
a little bit. Right.
There's a difference between appreciating that someone has put their heart and soul into a restaurant and then having realistic expectations in a soft opening for what you're going to get. And speaking of having realistic expectations.
Yeah.
So I went to Orlando to do a food review. And I went to, I'm not going to call them out yet. Mm-hmm. Video will come out soon. But I always preach to restaurants, guys, even though I'm coming even though you know I'm going to come in, you have to do your best to at least treat me like a normal customer.
Yeah.
I understand you're trying to put your best foot forward. I'm trying to help you to put your best foot forward. But there's a difference between, by the way, this happens to Dave Portnoy a lot.
Okay.
He'll walk in, they immediately know it's him, and they're trying to remake. And he'll actually call them out. I was like, no, you can't remake it. You can't remake it. Sometimes. Yeah. So I went to this taco restaurant. Now, granted, this is a regular taco spot. Mm-hmm. It is right near, they might know, it's okay. It's right near UCF. And when I tell you they already have good food, the reviews are great, they're already a very popular spot, but they invited me to come out. When I tell you, and my camera person was also saying the same thing, it took them, now this is supposed to be a very quick, fast, casual spot.
Oh, God.
I was eating a couple tacos, a couple this,
I already
couple
know
that.
where this is going. So.
When I tell you, this turned into a 5-star Michelin restaurant.
But did it taste like it?
It did.
It did. How long did it take?
It took about an hour.
Oh my God.
When I tell you,
they couldn't keep that up.
When he came to the table
crazy.
and he said, listen, Baldy, I wanted to make this perfect for you. I wanted the review to be great. I said, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you.
Right.
But you have to understand that the ratings that I'm now going to give, because I just ate a Michelin star, mother bleeping steak taco and chicken taco that tasted like I could get at Foie Tacos in Mexico or whatever.
Right.
I said to him, and I always tell restaurants this, you have to understand that if you give me something like that, people are going to, and when you see the presentation, it was beautiful. And even my camera person, who's a young person,
he was like,
he looked at it, he laughed, then tasted the taco after the review and said, oh my God, but that's darn amazing. Sure the best taco I've ever had in my life.
Right. But then people are going to come out, let's say, which is ridiculous. I don't know why the restaurants do this. People are going to come out to the restaurant and they're going to try their food, and they're not going to put half as much effort into it. Then they're going to say, Baldy's a liar. He's the worst food reviewer. I went there and it tastes. So it's like, it's not even fair to you and your reputation, because the restaurants will literally serve you just to get traffic in the door.
Yes.
And then serve people something that doesn't measure up to your score. Not to mention it's subjective anyways, but let's just say, if they were following your palate, Right. And then it turns around that, they're eating like a 4 out of 10 meal. And it looks bad on you. I think that's what people don't understand. But let me segue into this. I think the next question people are going to be like, well, then why do you schedule your reviews? Why not do like Keith Lee and Portnoy and just drop in? Right. And then it would be more authentic.
So we're being invited by the restaurants. And the fact of the matter is, whatever you think I should be doing or how I should be doing it, the fact of the matter is that the restaurants have invited me. They know that I'm coming, and I'm okay with helping them to put their best forward by trying their best meals instead of the worst meals. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But restaurants, help me out. Help me out a little bit. Now, Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of restaurants that actually take pride into saying, Baldy, I'm not doing anything special for you. We want everyone to know that they get the same exact service, and that is smart.
Yeah.
So a little bit about me, actually. I want to touch on this whole crazy tipping thing.
Okay, yeah.
So we are in such a tipping environment now. Everything is turned tipping. Uber Eats tipping, tipping.
And they're trying to get it where they could get it.
That's it. And I understand. Listen, this is a hard economy, man.
Oh my gosh.
But let me ask you a question. When I'm ordering Uber Eats, right? I wonder if the audience or the community notices this. Do you know that the level of service that Uber is going to provide you and the drivers are going to provide you is based on your initial tip that you put in
I have heard
before the order?
I won't say Uber Eats specifically, but I will say like a lot because there's other delivery, food delivery. But I have heard from someone who actually works for one of the other ones that they see the tip and then they decide. You can see it.
You can accept or decline.
Oh well,
you can.
You can.
100%.
I didn't know that part.
Based on the tip, you can accept or decline and move on to the next.
That's crazy.
But blame it on.
Well, we won't say Uber Eats for sure because we don't know.
No, I know. It's okay.
Hey.
Blame it on Uber. Blame it on DoorDash. Listen, you have to be able to. Everything right now is on us. It's on the community. Tip at To Go, tip on Uber, tip on DoorDash, tip on Instacart.
You get a $3 thing and walk up and they're going to, do you want to tip? No, I don't want to tip.
Everything, right. Thank you. But for my Uber,
right,
I have to tip you, let's say 20% beforehand. And I understand they're making the money on the tips, but whose fault is that? Is that the consumer's fault? Or is that the big multi-billion-dollar corporation's fault?
That should be paying them a little bit more.
Ooh,
right?
There you go.
Well, we don't really know what their overhead is like. But, right. I mean, if you're at the level that you're putting out these commercials and you've got sponsorship deals you're handing out left and right. So
right.
I'm pretty sure you could probably give your drivers a little bit more money so they're not expecting us,
there you go,
the little people, to literally almost pay their salaries.
But think about that model. Think about the tipping model. Imagine
crazy.
If you go into a restaurant and you are supposed to put the tip before you even sit down. Who cares about service? Who cares about food?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Think about that.
Like that's always been
crazy.
The to-go model, though. Like, you go to a restaurant and you order to go. They want you to pay for it and put the tip before you even know what the food's going to be like or how fast it comes out.
Right.
So, but it's pretty messed up, I think.
It's crazy. What happens if you eat half of my food? My lid's all open.
It's cold.
You took 3 shrimp. It's cold.
You got to argue.
It took an hour and a half.
Right. Or you got to get a remake.
And here's what's funny. Yeah. After you bring the food, once you look at it, once you receive it, do you know that the option only lets you add more tip? It never lets you
change
remove
the tip amount. Really? Listen, I'm just gonna help you out. On behalf of Baldy Eats, okay, we are not saying that Uber for certain does all these things. We're just gonna keep it general. You're about to get yourself in trouble.
It's okay.
I think tips should be based on service. It should 100% be determined. But I also don't think that a server in a restaurant or a delivery driver should depend on it, like, for the majority of their wages.
It's twofold.
I kind of think it's crazy.
It is crazy. And I want to say something. I was a server.
Right. We went through it. Yeah.
I was a server.
Me too. Right?
I worked back in the day at TGI Fridays. I worked at Bennigan's. Listen, we make money based on tips.
Unfortunately.
So I understand. However, that's based on the service. That's based on the food. That's based on a variety of things. So I heard we had some questions.
We got some questions. Yes. Kathy Brooker, hopefully I'm saying that right. Kathy Brooker or Kathy Brucker asks, what about this 18% some places tag on your bill?
You know how common that is becoming? So you go into a restaurant.
Yeah.
And you look at the bill, and a lot of the servers, and again, I'm an advocate for servers. I'm an advocate for restaurants, obviously. But you look at your bill on the end, and you better read your bill. You better study your bill, because more and more restaurants are starting to say 18% minimum gratuity no matter what. Now, some of them are calling it a service fee. And when you call it a service fee, that 18% is not even guaranteed to go to the server.
You know what? I have some thoughts on this.
Can you imagine that?
I know that part is crazy to me. If that 18% doesn't go to the servers, that part is absolutely crazy. what do you think should be, let's say you're getting good service,
Yeah.
acceptable service,
Yes.
like nothing crazy, just like what a server should do. What should the tipping amount be?
So tipping, in my opinion, is free will.
You don't
And
think there's a minimum for good service? You don't think there's a minimum?
Yes. Free will is the ability to do what I see fit.
Okay.
And what I see fit for an amazing meal with great service, this is just me. I understand everyone is different. I would say 30%.
Same. Yes. 30%. So if 18% was going to
Yes,
them,
I'd be okay with that.
would you say that then you should only add an additional 12%
No.
to your tip? Why? Why not?
Free will.
Okay, so like, what is it, like a principal? They charge me
You're
charge 18.
forcing my hand. So
now the server has to pay for what the restaurant probably
I
implemented?
love that. Put me in my corner. I love
yeah,
that. But I'm
sorry,
going to tell you
but
that. No.
explain.
I love that.
Okay.
Free will. I'm going to say this. If I come with a party of 6 and my meal is $500, so again, you're now talking about the preconceived notion. Is that right?
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Just like Uber, that no matter what, when I step through the door, the tip or the service fee
Okay.
is a minimum of 18%, whether the meal was good, bad, indifferent, whether the server was having a bad day or anything. I say, okay, you rolled your dice and you got 18%.
Really? But even though it's probably not the servers that are coming up with this policy, you think the server should pay?
No. It's not their fault. I would say it's on the restaurants.
But the restaurant doesn't care as long as they get their 18%.
And you're right.
So
and
then
that's where we
that's
start
where
to
it's
talk
sticky,
about the greed.
Right?
You know, I've been reached out to a couple of times, and I don't want to go on this subject for too much longer.
Okay.
Because, by the way, Pam Held actually asked the same exact question. Why are restaurants now adding an additional money after tips included? I don't know if she meant to word it that way. Found at a newly open restaurant, PSL. And I would say this. For me, I understand that there are some scumbags out there that won't tip. I completely understand that.
Right.
But I've heard a lot of stories and a lot of servers that have reached out to me, and we may touch on this in the future, where that quote unquote service fee is not going 100% to that server. But guess what? Who pays for it? Who pays for it? Us?
We need restaurants to, like, the actual restaurant owners to comment on this and to, like, say whether or not this is true or not. Like,
be transparent about it.
Okay, but are they actually maybe giving them that 18%, but they're not doing the math?
Not all the time. I want to see a policy on the table that literally says 100% of the 18% fee is going directly to your server. Because I had, and I'm not going to get into this.
Okay.
Because this girl wanted me to fight the great fight, and I just didn't have time, unfortunately, at that time. I can't fight every fight.
Right.
Somebody reached out to me a few months back, and she said, I have proof that a restaurant that I work for in Fort Pierce is charging the minimum 18% gratuity, and there are times where he's just lining his pockets.
Oh, my God.
As either the accountant or the manager or whatever. And sometimes we're barely getting 3-4%, 5-6% of that or whatever it is. And she said she had proof. Crazy. I said, you need to speak to someone else. Ew. You need to go hire an attorney or something. She said, I'm a server. I can't afford an attorney. But that whole thing on the service fee, that to me, and I'm not going to say who, I'm not even going to give you guys a little inkling because I don't want no problems. I don't want no beef. But there's a large restaurateur in the Treasure Coast. And I heard the same exact thing was happening.
Really?
I'm not going to say he, she, they.
That they're lining their pockets?
They own multiple restaurants in the Treasure Coast, and I heard that 18% gratuity or the service fee,
right?
Because they can call whatever they want. It comes out of your pocket as the consumer. And guess what? It's not going in the server's pocket. So now, on top of 18%, what do you want us to do? Give an extra 18%?
Right.
Give an extra 20%? That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
So,
or maybe they just expect. Well, okay, all right.
That's
we have to look into that. I don't know. I don't know. We got to get a private investigator.
Don't say that. No. Listen, we're just talking about it. We're bringing.
We're talking about it. So Muhammad actually asked. Muhammad A. Malik asks, "Why is tipping tied to the cost of food? A server at Denny's and a server at Cheesecake Factory do the same job, but the server at Cheesecake Factory makes more because food costs more." That's a good question. Okay, what do you think about that?
I know the easy answer to that, but it's because I'm in all these restaurants.
But is there an answer to this, or is it subjective?
There's a simple answer, or a perceived simple answer that has come into this whole tipping generation that we're a part of, which, by the way, in Europe, they don't allow tips.
Well, maybe because the restaurants are actually paying the servers their wages.
They are paying the servers a livable wage to work in the restaurant.
Is that because restaurants are they getting like more heavily taxed than other businesses, or like is there a reason that restaurants and the restaurant industry, the food industry in general, especially in the States, you can, because when I was a server, I was also, we were servers.
Yeah.
What do we get? Like $5 an hour plus tips? I don't think people
realize
realize
less back
that.
then.
Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how
little. It was like
little.
$3 and change or something like that.
But they
plus
raised
tips.
it, right?
They raised it a little bit, yeah.
Right, but it's not like they're making a livable wage. It's not like they're getting, $18 an hour plus tips, and so they're like, they're expecting the gratuity to pay their bills. So it's kind of, do you work for a really fancy restaurant so that you can make more wages? Shouldn't it be? I kind of am of the belief system that service is service.
Yeah.
Like, unless your plate is heavier or you're bringing out like, you're juggling at the same time. If you're doing the same level, I'm with Muhammad, if you're doing the same level of service, there should be like a standard idea that a person pays. You pay a server, you come in to eat, you take up an hour of their table time, you pay them $11. Or you pay them $20. Like, it's $20 an hour to be. I think we should change the tipping model to where it's service time. You're eating up their table time.
That's
How much would they need to make per hour to make a livable wage?
That's interesting.
What do you think?
I like that. If you go and eat a bagel in a bagel shop and your total is $8.50, and let's say 25% of that is what, $2 and change?
Okay.
Now, I understand. Listen, you don't want to then go and eat a quick bagel. You're on the run and then all of a sudden tip 100%. But I do kind of see what you're saying. So the easy answer for Muhammad is based on how we do things in our country, in our culture. Essentially, if you eat at Denny's, in general, your bill's going to be a lot lower than if you eat at a finer establishment like Cheesecake Factory or something like that. And in general, if you work at Denny's, let's just say maybe, shout out to everybody that works at Denny's, no hate at all. The level of service that you may or may not be giving may not be at the same level as a finer dining establishment. So that's so for example, listen, the economy is hard. Everyone's on a budget. If I go and eat at Denny's and I spend $30 for the Grand Slam meal for, me and my kid, and, I'm not going to tip, 100% based on $30. The normal tipping process is that you would actually tip, let's say 20 to 30%, or some people still want to tip 15% to each their own.
Okay, so we disagree on this. You think that like the way it is the way it should be?
Well,
basically?
I just think that if I go and eat at Ruth Chris, for example, and I spent $250. So what you're saying is tip them
It's
less.
the same plate. It's the same. Like if you put a steak on it at Outback and a steak at Ruth Chris, I mean, does the seasoning weigh more? Like a steak is a steak. It's the literal service.
But are you tipping based on the cost of the meal, or are you at that point?
I don't think you should.
Okay.
I know that's the way it is, right? And this could be my autism speaking, okay? But I know that that's the way that it is. I don't think it's the way it should be. It makes no sense. I think this is just capitalism doing what capitalism does,
Okay.
Not that I'm completely against capitalism, but I think this is one of the ridiculous aspects of it. But
okay. I feel
all right,
you.
so you want to get on to, I have another question here from
Yes.
Red Bear. Red Bear asks, would you rather eat at a restaurant with great food and lousy customer service, or eat at a restaurant with average food but superior customer service?
I actually thought of that a lot. And I know these subjects are just funny because we're talking about food, but that goes in depth. Would you rather lousy service and great food, or great food and lousy service? Now, obviously, everyone's going to say, if I'm paying my hard-earned money, I better get both great service and great food.
Right.
But that's not always the case.
Right. If your choices are limited, what are you choosing? Like,
listen, I'm already pissed off. I'm already mad as hell. I waited an hour and a half for my food. My server, probably, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to.
So it better be good.
When I get my damn meal, my steak, whatever I got, if it's good, I'm going to at least be able to swallow my anger a little, a little bit easier.
Right.
Now, on the other hand.
It is the reason you went out to eat and you didn't make yourself a peanut butter sandwich.
That's true.
I mean, the flavor kind of matters.
Now if the
made up for right? It just depends on the difference. It depends on the price, probably. I set my expectations at a quick service, restaurant. I know, did they follow the recipe? I know it might be a hit or miss.
At least I'll swallow my tears with the good food.
Right. Same. Okay. Right. Well, we also have Michael Groves, who says, I would love to see you do some interviews with local chefs who have received acclaim, also with immigrants who have brought authentic cuisine from their home country and the work it took to get where they are. Looking forward to it. Ooh.
I love that.
Yeah, right.
We have so much planned, but yes, that's a great one. What was his name?
That's Michael Groves.
Shout out to Michael.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That's a great thing. Listen, I want to have foodie chefs, experts. I would love to have some heads of restaurants that have been doing it the right way.
Do we have any acclaimed, is Chef Luca up there, would you say?
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah,
maybe we'll get him.
We have some others in the Treasure Coast. You think so?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's a great idea. And yes, I love the idea of even talking about someone that has put their passion, and maybe they're an immigrant. Whether they're an immigrant or not, that doesn't really make a difference. But the fact that maybe their story was, a bit tougher, maybe the culinary stuff, the expertise that they're in, maybe, I would love to hear those stories. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would love to eventually, if we can figure it out, when chefs come on, maybe they bring their number one meal.
Ooh.
And we try it on camera.
And the recipe? No,
maybe
probably not, right?
Maybe they talk about the recipe. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That would be crazy if they gave us this is what you could do.
Yeah.
This is just one little trick that I use.
Maybe
not giving away the whole thing.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
A little. That would be cool.
Absolutely.
All right. Last one is from me, myself. I said, okay, which matters more, the first bite or the last bite? And at what point, does fusion become confusion? So,
I'm going to touch on the first one really quick.
Okay.
I have a thing where I want to rate your food within the first, second, or third bite. Because if you wait till you're full, I don't know about you, but when I've been out to dinner and I'm eating the food and then I'm all full and then the bill comes, I'm like, man, that wasn't that good. that wasn't that good,
Right.
you know, and try to downplay it a little bit more. But you can't deny that when you take that first or second bite, that is usually that is the best scenario that you're going to deal with in that particular meal, in my opinion.
You want to hear my argument?
Yes.
I'm going opposite. But not to be opposite,
Yeah.
I think you made, good sense.
Yeah.
Facts, right? But think about this. If you can eat a meal that has been sitting and it still tastes good, like,
Ooh.
that says a lot about it.
But
right?
you're then talking about not eating the food fresh in the restaurant. You're talking about eating it after?
I'm saying if food can travel or if food can sit and then it still tastes great, then it must have been phenomenal.
I agree with that. But your question, let's break it down. Let's say we're talking about one meal. First bite, last bite. What is more important? My opinion.
Okay.
That first magical bite and then the second, just to test yourself. Was it that good? Or was I that hungry? I would go with first bite. I would actually say second or third bite. Okay. But yeah, fusion confusion. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I've seen chefs that do fusion food, and it's great because they're like, "Ooh, I would have never thought about putting these together."
Yeah.
But then I've also tasted, stuff, and it's like, bro, like I came here I thought your specialty was Asian food with a little mix of this, and like, I don't know what this is. Like, I think part of eating food is the psychology behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you go into a restaurant, you have an expectation, it changes how you appreciate the food, So I think there's a little like psychology to it, don't you?
I do. I happen to be someone that enjoys a little bit of fusion.
Okay.
I do. I like a little bit of fusion. Now, yes, I think maybe we could talk to a chef about this.
When does it become confusion?
That is true. And that's a great question. I think if you're a little bit subtle and you are putting together, in my opinion, a culinary masterpiece, and you're kind of subtly doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and you come up with an amazing concoction, yes, it can work. But yes, I do agree with you. Sometimes it turns into a bunch of confusion.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a great first episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Behind the Bite with Baldy will be on Behind the Bite with Baldy on YouTube, right? So YouTube for now, we're going to put it all out there. And guys, put in your questions. Put in your suggestions. We want to make this more of an interactive podcast. We want to make this fun. We want the viewers to actually be involved, and maybe we're going to read your question.
Yeah. Yeah. Recommend some people.
Yeah. If you want to see a guest.
Yeah.
A cool guest. Yep. Well, guys, that was another podcast. Baldy out.